My name is Kevin Crummy. I live here in New Jersey, originally from Queens. Graduated Scranton in 98. Wait, I got to start over. I screwed up. It was 98 to 02. Let's recut that.
You got it.
My name is Kevin Crummy, from here in Jersey, originally from Queens. Graduated Scranton in 02. Seems like a long time ago. I work in advertising, particularly ad tech, for a company that houses creative assets and delivers them to any screen. We work with agencies and brands. I'm a vice president of sales, leading a team to sell our products.
That's awesome. So what led you to like want to attend the University of Scranton? Like what stood out about the school that made you go, you know what, I wanna go there?
Sure. I was looking at similar colleges, whether it be like Villanova or a Fairfield, schools like that. I guess smaller Catholic private colleges. And I was familiar with the Pocono region in general because my family has a cabin up there that we've had for years. So we went up there, went on the tour, was really impressed with what we saw and, everything on paper. It seemed like a great school. So I decided to go there and it was a good decision.
Cool. Yeah, we actually used to, when I was young, like when I was probably 7 or 8, we sold it, but my family had a house in the Poconos as well.
Look, do you remember the community?
I do not, unfortunately. I know it was in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Um, okay. And what did you major in and why did you select that?
Yeah, I majored in communications. Wasn't really sure what I was going to do with my life, like most people, unless you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a PT or nursing. I was a little uncertain. I knew I want to be a businessman in some capacity, so I majored in communications with a business and history minor.
Great. So college is a really fun 4 years. Are there any funny stories, keep it PG 13 that, you can maybe, some good memories that you made? I'm sure you still, do you still keep in touch with friends? Do you have any funny stories with those guys?
Sure. I mean, ton of good stories from the University of Scranton. As you said, we got to keep this family friendly, and it was college. So a couple of stories that come to mind and one ties into communications, was some of the funny videos that we shot for whatever the class was called at the time, like video production or whatnot. One of our friends had a gorilla suit that he brought up from home. So most of our videos or PSAs or movies that we submitted as classwork throughout the year featured a guy in a gorilla suit. We even at one point in time did a thing where he fought someone up at the falls, which you probably know, and we pushed the gorilla off into the falls backwards. And we not necessarily divers, but we had other students in the water in case the suit tried to bring him down. So that was a memory that'll last with me forever. Another great memory is at our house, 424 Taylor. We would do a prank called Fake Sleeping Guy, and we would basically get clothes and fill them up with pillows and blankets and make as if there was someone sleeping on the couch. And we would leave this guy there for like a week or a month. And whenever anyone would come by, we'd be like, "Oh, what's going on?" Shh. And everyone had to be silent. And they're like, "Who is that?" And we were like, "We don't know. He's been here since the last party." But we would let this go on for like a month and kind of trick people.
That's great. Yeah, no, we did some pranks too. I remember freshman year, around Christmas time, my friend, he's an ROTC. He was doing PT, so he was doing training for the weekend. I think in like Virginia or something. So it was it was right before Christmas break. We wrapped up his whole room like a Christmas present, like everything, the bed, the cabinets, the drawers, everything was just wrapped in wrapping paper. He's like super mad when he got back.
Yeah, you got to do stuff like that.
You have to. So kind of going back to the stories, the friends that you made here do you still keep in touch with them?
Sure. Yeah. Some of my best friends to this day, if not my best friends, are all University of Scranton graduates. And I met my wife there as well. So my wife, Christina, was a year below me. But yeah, I just last night went to Top Golf with a guy from the University of Scranton. So most of them were regional, whether it was like Philly or Jersey or Long Island. But yeah, I still keep in touch with a ton of people. I don't know, 20, 30 people.
Wow. That's great. Um, Professors. I know they're, probably not the same. I'm sure a lot of the same professors actually were here when you were here and who are still here now. Which were some of your favorite professors or faculty members at the U, and why?
Sure. Yeah. And I checked the website, and I've been on site recently to speak to you students. So I kind of know who's there and who isn't there. But one of my favorite professors was in the communications department, Professor Mary Beth Holmes, who headed up video production and helped us edit and shoot. So that was just fun. It was learning, but it was fun. So we had a great time with her. Also on the history side, Dr. Susan Polson and Roy Domenico.
I
Dr.
love
Domenico
her.
had some great classes. We went to FDR's house with Dr. Polson on a day trip, which was cool.
Oh
And
well.
then Dr. Domenico had a class, Rogues, Rebels, and Reformers, which were all kind of like bad dudes in history. And it was a really interesting class. So, yeah, all the teachers were great, but those were the ones that really stood out.
Yeah, Dr. Polson was one of my favorites too. I don't know if I know she wrote a few books. I think I got one of her books for my mom for Christmas one year because it was about the history of women. It's something like that. It was really interesting. My mom loved it. But yeah, she always made class super interesting. I love
Yeah,
history.
I was a big fan of history. I would have majored, but I didn't know if I was going to go into law or teaching, but that was like my favorite subject.
Yeah, me too. Um, okay, if maybe not one thing, but what are some of your biggest takeaways, biggest like learning experiences from attending the University of Scranton that you apply to your everyday life now? Like, what's something that you really took away from attending here?
Yeah, I'd say, first of all, I just grew at the University of Scranton in general as a person. You grow up a lot in college, and I think that Scranton allows you to kind of find your inner self and what you're going to be good at. In terms of life lessons, you get what you put in, right? It's all about hard work. And yeah, college isn't easy, but it's quite rewarding when you come out of there. And having gone to a Jesuit university, remember there's only 26 of them. I feel like that's valued in the workplace, for employment. So they'll be looking at that.
Definitely. Is there a piece of advice you'd give to current students, maybe who are in their sophomore, junior, senior year at the university?
Sure. My advice would be, if you're not exactly sure what you want to do, don't sweat it. It'll work out. You'll find something that you enjoy. 40, I still don't know what I want to do exactly, but I enjoy what I'm doing, and that's all good. I make a decent salary and it's fun at the same time. So no regrets there. Another piece of advice would be, if you have the time and you can afford it, when you're done, go back for your master's. It's something I regret not doing. So if you can just crank that out right after college, grab your master's.
Okay, and you know, right now, obviously, there's a lot of high school students. This is the time of year where they're really looking at colleges, especially the juniors. Um, is there, a specific message you'd like to share with, a high school student who is thinking about attending Scranton?
Yeah, I mean, look at the rankings. It speaks for itself in terms of, private regional schools. It's exceptional. Go up there and take a tour. I think you'll be, overwhelmed by everything you see. And I ask you to remember that Jesuit factor, right? They're known for their principles and values. And at last time I counted, there's only 26 Jesuit universities in America, and Scranton's one of them. So it's just an overall great school. And I would encourage you to, if not commit, at least check it out. Read the literature and check it out for sure.
Now, is the Jesuit aspect something that was important to you coming in, or is that something that you learned to appreciate over time?
Both. It was actually probably more important to my parents, to be honest with you. But you get that feel once you start going to the U. And I would encourage my children now, who are 4 and 6, or 5 and 7 rather, to take a look at Jesuit colleges when the time permits, if I can afford it, of course.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we hit pretty much everything. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything you think that might be of importance or
No, just I mean, I'm 40. It was probably some of the best years of my life at Scranton. It was a great combination of fun and learning. I met some high quality people and contacts that have helped me in the world today that I still rely on through the university. And they have a ton of programs like for alumni, like I'm still involved with stuff here in New York or the Philadelphia chapter, where they can help you with job placement. And yeah, it was a great experience, no regrets. And yeah, I'd encourage everyone to check it out for sure.